So how's everyone else doing? Good? Nothing about my problems?
Bored out of our minds for the last half an hour.
Oh, Sammy.
I don't want to make it all about me.
Sammy.
We thought you were doing something.
Okay, so
Exciting.
I've turned live view on, so I think I should be going live.
I can't put the fantasy on life.
This is going
Hello,
on
hello,
too, so
hello.
everything you say is going to be going up now, guys, okay?
Hello, hello, hello.
You haven't got another B and C cable up here, mate?
No. We did think that the fact that they were willing to wait half an hour could mean good news-wise.
True. Or they want our help.
Yeah.
How tall's our cat? Who's
Yes,
tall?
so it's not overly big. No. We're live streaming.
How are you doing now?
Yeah. Very typical.
Hey, you know there's two RNZ mics.
Yes.
Do you mind if I just prop mine on one of them?
Yeah.
Is that okay?
Yeah.
Superstars.
Of course. Of course.
Teamwork. Come on, come on.
Yeah, I'm
So
just
wrinkle-
watching.
How about you wrinkle?
What about something like?
Can you lean these two on there?
Yeah.
Okay. Is that too
Just
far
a bit of
away?
a shit mic, that's all.
Why don't you put
I
that?
think we're live.
Oh, sorry. It's a great mic. What's it going to sit there?
Can't sit with that one.
Sammy, you don't mind, eh?
Turn it any way you want, as long as I can press the record button, as well as I can reach the record button.
Oh, do you need this glass? Put it in this glass. Oh, it's got that big. Really big.
If I just do.
Yeah, that was pretty good.
Cool.
Oh, it's just kidding. Sorry, that's being hosted here. Sorry.
Sorry.
Just needs a few more than that's okay.
Oh, she's full
Well
on.
moved.
Oh, that could work though.
Hang on.
I'm just check mine. Yep.
Come on, baby, don't fail me now. I'm winning Lotto tonight, so this will probably be my last time to see you guys.
How much? I was really good friends with you, Chris. Remember all those times they helped me? How much are you winning?
No, what's it up to?
Didn't it get reset?
It's the power of positive thinking. I didn't get reset, that's a bummer. Could you just jump into a test for some music?
Not on the live stream. Testing 1, 2, 3.
Just sit down. Thanks, mate.
Stream not working, did I?
What?
Stream.
Testing 1, 2, 3. Testing 1, 2, 3.
Keep going, Stanley, keep going.
Get someone else to do it. Sorry, we're just testing audio, sorry.
I'm still a couple of minutes away, sorry, sir.
Can we do a sound sheet while we're waiting?
Sure. We shift these so I can put my paper there. Sorry? Can we shift these so I can put my paper there? Thanks. These microphones, can we shift them so I can put
We
it?
need those.
Yep, I get that. Well, I've got a loud voice, so I'm confident you'll get that. Thank you. Okay.
Yeah, okay, Chrissy, mate. Just bring this hand up to you now.
Right, so just a volume check. Chris Page is my name, Detective Superintendent.
How do you spell your last
Thanks,
name?
P-A-G-E. There's no I, not French.
A couple of minutes, sorry.
And we're sound is live.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you, mate.
So what was your title again?
Detective Superintendent.
Thank you.
Shouldn't be too much longer, sorry, team.
So just as we sit and wait, can we get an idea as to the organisations you're from? So I'll start from you. Thanks.
Caitlin will be from the Waikato Times.
The Times, yep.
Brad White, Checkpoint.
Checkpoint, thank you, Brad.
Sam Callaway, One News.
Thank you.
Krista Yardley from Waikato Times.
Yes, thanks.
Chris Bruce from Newsop.
Hello, Chris.
Philippa Yilden from Waikato Times.
Times, thank you.
Natalie Okuru, New Zealand Herald.
Thank you.
I'll get some New Zealand Herald.
Sam Karen, News Executive.
Sarah Ross on RNZ.
Thank you very much. Right, are we ready?
A couple of seconds.
Just while we are waiting, thanks very much for attending this afternoon. Appreciate you coming at short notice.
Good, thank you.
All right.
All good to go?
Thank you. So what I'll do is I've got a bit of a statement here. This will be put out at the conclusion of this, and I'll go through that and then I'll answer any questions that you may have. So the response to the events of last Sunday morning have now been split into two phases. The phase for the investigation into the shooting remains in the Waikato district, and the search for Mr. Rolly Hickey has been elevated to a national level, which I will oversee. What this does do is allow us to use the best possible resources to be able to coordinate nationally to obtain the custody of Rolly. Very important that we get Rolly safely and that he is taken into custody so that we can deal with the outstanding issues. The dilemma for us is that Rolly is very well known in criminal circles and has a wide criminal network. Our sense is that Rolly's no longer in the Morrinsville area, and this is what causes us to escalate this across the country as a national response. What worries us is that the criminals that are assisting Rolly may not know that he is unpredictable and has in the past used violence against his associates. So whilst on one hand they may make themselves liable to criminal prosecution, on a more serious note they may become victims of violence themselves, and it's their own safety that drives us to encourage them to come forward and let us know where Rolly is. Recently we heard in the media from Rolly's mum. It was good advice from Rolly's mum. Give yourself up. It can't go on forever, and at some point it has to come to an end. To do so peacefully is the best solution for everybody. As the inquiry progresses, police are setting up an 0800 number for the public to make contact with us. Until that number is able to be published, they can be in touch with us via 111 or their local police station. The information will be treated with confidence, and it's really important for the public to understand that even if they think it's a small piece or an irrelevant piece of information, it might just be the tiny piece of jigsaw puzzle that we're looking for, that we're waiting for, that will help us bring this matter to a close. Right, that's it, thank you. Any questions?
Do you have any idea where Rolly Hickey might have gone?
What we can say at this early stage is our sense is that he's not in Morrinsville, but in terms of exactly where he is now, we can't be definitive. We are undertaking inquiries across the country with associates that we know of in an effort to locate and identify where he is.
Is he a Morrinsville local? Is he from the South Island?
Our records indicate that he's actually well versed across locations in the North Island and has contacts well across New Zealand, especially in the North Island.
There was a Facebook post March 22nd, I believe, by Canterbury Police saying they were searching for Rolly. Has he been on the run for that long?
We've been looking for Rolly since September of 2016, and you may know that he appeared in Crime Watch program, the 10-7 program earlier this year. So we've been looking for him for a long time, and the recent events just reinforce that he needs to come in.
How hard have you been looking for him in those 12 months since he removed his electronic monitoring bracelet?
So there's been a large amount of work done in the district where he went missing from, and subsequently to try and locate Rolly. I can't detail all that here, but police have made some pretty good efforts, and by the time they appear on 10-7, that's a big call for help from the public.
Why wasn't it elevated to a national search, I guess, earlier on in the piece? It's several days now since the shooting.
What we do is take things on a step-by-step basis, and initially where the evidence leads us to think that he may be contained within a district, we'll continue to operate within a district and support that from outside. But where there is clear evidence that points to a highly mobile offender who's travelling throughout the country, there is a need to make sure that we coordinate nationally, and I'll be doing that from Police National Headquarters.
Hickey was so close to that property that was raided on Monday night. Did you have any sort of prior warning that he was there? I mean, he was only, 1.5 kilometres away. Should that house have been searched earlier?
What we have to be careful about is speculating and making sure that we work off the evidence that's before us and the evidence that's given to us. And we will respond with urgency as soon as we have clear and credible evidence on where Rolly is. And so that's what you saw was clear and credible evidence that Rolly may be there, and so we responded accordingly.
Did you find any evidence in there that he was at the property?
I can't talk to you about the specifics of what we did find in there, so we just need to focus on actually Rolly's still missing and he needs to come in.
Do you have any ideas on when exactly he might have left the area?
No, I can't talk to you about that detail and that level of detail, but we're reasonably satisfied that the sense that he's no longer in Morrinsville is quite clear.
He's very unpredictable. How worried should the public be nationally now that he could reoffend and potentially be out there armed and dangerous?
One of the things that we look at on a regular basis is what is the threat level to police, to the public. We've put out warnings that he is unpredictable, that he's dangerous to the public and not to approach, and we reinforce those warnings to the public that if they're aware of him or they see him, to get in touch with us straight away and not to approach him.
The red vehicle he was in when he allegedly fired at officers, that car's relatively well known in Morrinsville. Was that his vehicle or someone else's?
Well, again, I can't talk to you around the detail of that, and that is one of the things to focus on for the investigation team based out of Morrisville, to understand all the things that occurred before that resulted in shots being fired at police on the early hours of Sunday morning.
Do you think police could have acted more swiftly
For what?
in the matters of even contacting family members? I know that we got in touch, or One News was in touch with family members yesterday, and then police asked for those numbers. Do you think police should have possibly been in contact with family members beforehand?
There's a lot of work for police to get to and get through and be clear about who it is that we're looking for and the background to that. So it is unfortunate, but we often see that we're in a race with media often to be able to get to really important people. And sometimes the evidence will point us one way and that comes to a dead end. So it's unfortunate, but it is one of the realities of today's modern media is that they are in the middle and at times in the front of some police actions.
How can the public help?
The public can help by getting in touch with police. If you know where Rolly is, or even if Rolly's there listening, it's easy. Just get in touch with us. Call 111 if you have to. Get in touch with us and let's arrange to come in.
Morrisville locals are angry that police haven't really been telling them anything about what's going on. Main Street was shut down for 4 hours. Why haven't you been communicating with Morrisville locals more throughout that time?
Look, sometimes positions arise where there's an operational need to keep information secure until the very last moment. And it's really challenging in a small environment like Morrisville, where we have an excellent relationship and communicate with them on pretty well everything on a regular basis. But we're dealing with a highly unpredictable person here, and so some parts require us to have an operational security to make sure that our staff, who leave home every day to save lives, actually get home at the end of the day.
How are those officers doing that were fired at?
Well, look, they're getting as much help as they need and support from the police executive, from their colleagues, and from the district commander here. I personally haven't spoken to them, but I can assure you that they're getting everything that they need, but no one is ever ready or prepared to cope with what they had to cope with on Sunday morning.
Last Friday, Reece Warren was sentenced for shooting at officers. How alarming is it that this is still going on in districts around the country?
You know, one of the things that police do is understand the issues that we face on a regular basis, and we have a tactical training program that allows us to understand that at any point in time we may face the situation that we faced on Sunday. It doesn't make it any easier, but we understand that at times our job is dangerous and something, when you least expect it, may occur. So the training's in a really good space to help our people understand that, and the support network that follows on from that helps our people get through it.
Has there been any sign of that high-powered military firearm that you've been looking for along with him?
No.
Do you know how he got access to firearms like that, or why he was in possession of it?
So the details of how the firearm came to be in possession and used is one of the key focuses or key aspects being investigated by the investigation team. And often that takes some unpicking to find out where it came from and how it got to the hands of someone.
Do you have any idea what Rolly Hickey was doing on Sunday morning? Was he selling drugs?
That'll be one of the things that the inquiry team's focused on, and in the fullness of time we'll have clarity about that.
What has happened to the other two people who were in the car with him? Have they appeared in court or been charged?
No one else has been charged at the moment in relation to this matter, and the other two people in the car have been interviewed, and we continue to work with them to establish clear facts about what happened.
They're not in police custody, though, are they? Or
No, they're not.
Are they connected to him in any way?
That's one of the things that we'll examine closely, is what is their connection and how they came to be there.
Has there been any sort of trail of Rolly at all, any stolen cars, burnt out cars, anywhere just out of Morrisville?
It's a really good question, and that's part of what the investigation looks at, is crime that has occurred immediately after and before, to try and ascertain have any cars been stolen and moved away and been dumped in other parts of the country. So those are leads that we're looking for and examining closely in our national effort to try and find Rolly.
Is he a gang member?
Rolly is well connected to the criminal network, and he does have gang connections, and so that's what causes us some concern about ongoing desire to have him in custody. He has that wide criminal network which will support him. As I said earlier, they may not know that he is unpredictable and violent and has hurt those who are close to him previously. So in their own safety, they should be in touch with us. And on another point, they make themselves liable to criminal charges by assisting him.
So do you think gang members are helping hide him?
What I am saying is he's relying on a criminal network to support him to be escaping or avoiding police.
Do you have any details about the electronic monitoring bracelet that he removed last year? Was it one of the newer tamper-proof ones?
No, I can't answer that, sorry.
Do you know what calibre the bullet was that was fired, or the bullets that were fired at officers on Sunday morning?
Look, I do, but for the moment that is just part of the detail that we continue to examine. So for the moment there's no relevance in releasing that. Yep.
Just as the investigation moves away from Morrinsville, what message have you got for people along the lines of vigilance and things with this guy out there with this weapon?
It remains the case for people with knowledge of or who may see Rowley to be careful for their own safety in the first instance. They should be in contact with the police via 111 or your local police station or through the 0800 number when it's published. Be in contact with the police, let us know the details and let us determine whether it's important or not in terms of the investigation. What we really want is the public to help us solve this and help us put this to an end for Rowley so that he can come in safely without anyone being hurt. Right.
Very good, thank you.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you so much.
Appreciate you coming in, and we'll keep you updated as progress goes along. Thanks.
Thank you very much.
And Kirsten will take care of you, so get you out.
Thank you.
Thank you for your time, mate. Cheers.